from my view that you guys switched to more man coverage in the second half as opposed to zone. First off, is that true? And then secondly, what went into that switch?
I think we did a little both. I think you saw us change it up a little bit in the second half, kind of towards the end of the second quarter. They came out in a bunch of different personnel groupings, a bunch of different formations, a bunch of different packages that they hadn't shown, and we really just had to respond to it. So you might have saw a little bit more man here and there, but I think if you looked at it, we were pretty balanced towards the end of the half.
And then I know this is a question you've been asked quite a bit, at least in a similar fashion of you, but what in this secondary allows for that versatility to switch so frequently between man and zone coverage?
What allows us to do both?
From the players, I'm saying.
Well, I think it's kind of how you install it. You teach everybody how they fit in each zone that we run. So it's almost like plug and play, right? I teach you how to play this spot, and now I might put you here, but you're doing the same thing. So that's kind of how we've approached that, if that makes sense. And then with the man coverage stuff, that's been a basis of what we do. So we train that every single day.
Jeff, halftime adjustments for you guys and in-game adjustments in general seem to have been so good this year. I think Saturday was a good example of that. They had the 250 passing yards, I think, at halftime.
Yeah.
Second half, I think they were 2 of 24 for less than 50 yards. You guys blitzed a lot. Just how difficult is it to make those in-game adjustments, and how happy are you with the job you guys are doing with that?
Well, it's all part of the game, right? And I think I mentioned this before. It's not so much at halftime. Like, I wish you guys could be down there at halftime with us to see how fast it is. I'm not inviting them, Jared, but when you get down there, and this is, like, probably people don't know, when you get down there, they're like, I'm up in the booth, right? And I have to take sometimes a bus, sometimes a golf cart down, and then I sprint like 20 yards to get into the locker room, and then I'm in there, and then it's like, all right, catch my breath because I'm not really in good shape. And then all of a sudden you're talking so fast and you're getting your idea. If you wait to do it, then you have no chance. It's literally in between each series. My head's down, we're talking. Then all of a sudden I hear punt ready. Hopefully Ryan extends it and we don't have to, but it's fast and it's throughout the game. It's really not at halftime. So we try to work the game. So it's every series. And then even going into every game, it's what do we think they were going to do? And then what's our plan for that? What if they do this? What's our plan for that? So you kind of have to have a plan of what could happen. And then as it happens in the game, you better be able to adjust. But again, a credit to the players for being able to so quickly change things. It's really credit to them.
Was Sean, can I ask a quick follow-up? Was Sean out on Saturday? I know you guys went with kind of DB by committee with him out.
Right.
How do you feel like that went? I know Amir played better and better as the game went
Well,
on.
Amir did do better and better. He got comfortable. And I think I mentioned this after the game, like that's another reason, like, I love being around these kids and I love college football. Like, Amir Reed got his chance on one of the biggest stages of his life in one of the biggest games in college football, and he changed the game. And he'll remember that for the rest of his life. And he'll have the confidence now probably to go out and play better and better and better. And to me, just mentioning Amir, that's such a cool moment. Sean being hurt, we did have to switch a few things around. And even throughout the game, we kind of moved things around just to see where guys are comfortable. You got to give Damon Arnett credit. He went in and played a position he really hadn't played. And that was hard for him to do. And he played really well. And then I put him back on the outside, and, we continued to move around. And even Jeff. The one thing about Jeff is, and it's probably not even noted enough, is if you look back to the Penn State game, we put him inside. He hadn't played inside all year. Why did we do that? They had a really good receiver playing inside. So we asked Jeff to do something he hadn't done all year, and he was very successful that day at that. You look forward to the game against the team up north. We moved Jeff around. We put him in positions where we thought they were going to try to throw the football against really good receivers, and he made 2 really big third-down stops. So, I mean, that just makes me think, like, a guy like Jeff right now, and you talk about the Heisman, you talk about all these awards. I believe Jeff Okudah is the best corner in the country. And as that Thorpe Award comes near, Jeff's as talented as any player corner that I've been around. And I'm not taking that away from the other corners, but what Jeff Okudah has done this year, maybe he doesn't have the production because no one's really throwing him the ball, but when they do, they're not catching it. And he's taking guys out of the game. So I can't say enough about the whole DB group in general, but I'd be disappointed if Jeff didn't win that award next week because I do believe, and I wouldn't say this if I didn't mean it, I do believe he deserves to win that award.
Jeff, that was obviously obviously most of the team had been able to move a ball against you in the first half of a game this year. What kind of sense did you get from your guys? Did you ever feel like they were getting frustrated, or did you feel like they were always confident they were going to be able to turn it around?
They didn't flinch, and that's kind of what we've all been waiting for, right? Because I think that was the first time someone took the opening drive and scored a touchdown on us, and they didn't flinch. And we got on the headsets, we talked through things, and they went back out, and I think we had 2 stops in a row, right? I think we had 2. Yeah, we did. They punted 2 more times in a row, and then they had the next drive. But I think it says so much about the players, not have gone through that for an entire season, and then it happened in the biggest game of our season. So, again, credit to the players and the coaches on the staff for, just keep punching through. You're going to get punched in the face, and our guys responded, and that was awesome to see.
You were asked about some of your guys. Marcus Hooker was another guy you guys played more, kind of
Yeah.
more of a 2-safety look. Kind of what made you decide to put him in there in the second half?
Honestly, the way that Hooker has been practicing, and I've said this before, like we practice hard and these guys work. And the way he's been practicing and the way he's been approaching it in the meetings, he deserved to play. And I told him that last week. I said, it's your time. You've earned it. And it just so happened to be in a really big game. But he had a great couple weeks of practice. He's really locked in, and he played really well. He almost had a pick. He had a good PBU on the left sideline. He almost went over the top and made the play. So I was really, again, another guy you're just so happy for. That's why that's such a cool experience.
Jeff, how would you describe the confidence that Damon plays with?
Plays with great confidence. In my opinion, he plays with the confidence you need in a great corner. And Damon's another guy. I mean, the guy's played with one hand all year. And I'm not sitting up here today like promoting the DBs. I'm not, but the more you reflect and look back at what some of these guys have done and the work they put in all year, like a guy like Damon, I just appreciate him so much. I mean, he's playing with one hand, and he's getting off blocks with one hand. He saved a touchdown on the right sideline where he got off a block with one hand and made the tackle. So you want to talk about toughness? I mean, that's what this place is all about, like guys like Damon.
There have been, he missed one game, and there have been a couple where he's had to come out. Is that just keep what he's dealing with the wrist?
Yeah, it hurts him. I mean, I think every time he probably hits someone with him, it hurts him. And there's times he tells me, hey, I can do it. And I'm like, all right, let's take a few plays off. So Damon's good. It's just he's got to just deal with the pain, and he has. And there's some people that we've all been around that would not have played. So I appreciate him.
I understand there can be a difference sometimes between statistical production and what an impact a player has on a game, but this was one of Chase's less statistically impactful games. Was there something that you thought Michigan was doing, especially to take him out, and do you think that's something beneficial for this defense to have experienced?
Yeah, I think they did. I think they did a nice job. There were certainly multiple guys on him. Sometimes there were 3. And they were chipping him with the back, and they were keeping the tight end in on his side, and it opens up, like I said before, when they have to do that, it opens up opportunities for other players, and that's where we need to take advantage of. So certainly it does help.
Did you feel like you were taking advantage of that?
I do. I think especially later in the game when I think you guys saw when it became a passing game and they had to throw the ball, we got after them. And that's, you can credit a lot of different things for the second half of 4 for 24, but it always goes back to pass rush. That's a success there.
Was Amir Reef the one that you guys eventually went to in that spot?
Amir had been playing that spot in practice. He'd been the backup, and again, a guy that earned it, a guy that works hard, comes to work, tough, reliable, just waiting his turn, and he deserved it. That's why he was in the game. With how hard he works and prepares, he deserved the moment, and then he made the most of his opportunity, and it's one I hope he'll never forget.
Yes, you guys have outscored teams in the conference 436 to 116. How much have you been able to, or why do you think you've been able to create that kind of gap with the Big Ten?
I think we played really good complementary football together. I think our offense and defense work well together. We've been fortunate enough to get a bunch of quick 3-and-outs, and then Coach Day scores so fast sometimes where you barely have time to think. And if we can cause those 3-and-outs and get him the ball quickly, he can get defenses on edge and he can score quickly. And that's kind of been effective early on. Not always. There's been some times like we've struggled a little bit and we go back and forth and then we get a good run and he goes at it. I just think it's been a really good balance. I think this team, and a credit to Coach Day, I think this team is very balanced and we work really well together, where there's other places that don't talk about complementary football, and we do. So that's a credit to Coach Day.
From your defensive perspective, how advantageous is it to have, the quarterback and running back talent that you guys have had in this recent run at Ohio State, over the years?
It's very helpful. I mean, anytime you have a good offense, you're probably going to be playing better defense. It's a lot of times you go up ahead and it turns into a one-dimensional game, right? They're on the field a lot, so it's not like 3 and out, we're up again, 3 and out, we're up again. So when you have a good offense and you have the talent like we do on defense, it helps a lot.
Front row, right. Tim? Yeah, Jeff, that one little rotation y'all did, where y'all got caught in the flip-flop and stuff. You're sitting in the press box. Are you screaming at yourself? I mean, what is going on there on that play? And did y'all get a little simpler after that, or maybe not?
I wouldn't say we got simpler. We kind of stuck to our plan. I mean, I was calm up there during that moment. I saw what happened. I knew what we did wrong. I clearly didn't coach it well enough. So I got on the headset, and we fixed it. We've been lucky so far this year. Not lucky, but our guys have done such a good job of not having that happen, and it was just one of those moments. I just wanted the guys to know we're okay. We're going to get scored on. We're going to make mistakes, and they made a play, right? We just can't let it happen again. When mistakes happen in a game like that, you can't let it happen again. And that was my message to them, and we fixed it. And going forward, hopefully that won't be an issue.
And the other thing, going into this game, obviously Chase had a hell of a game against Wisconsin first time around. Y'all know that, they know that and stuff. And y'all did a great job of moving him up and down the keyboard, so to speak. How do you play that now, knowing that they know some of the, I don't know if tricks is the right word, but some of the matchups y'all tried to generate? How do you play that now? Because, you were in the NFL where you played a team at least twice every year. How do you play that from being a little different the second time around?
Well, I think every game you evolve a little bit. So I think each game you look at an opponent and they do things differently. But I think when you take as much data as we have and you find out what are they really good at and what do we think they'll do against us, those are the things you really look at. I mean, some defenses are way different than us, so you don't really look at some of those games. So you really got to think. You can't look at everything, because then all of a sudden I won't sleep at all and you'll start seeing ghosts, right? Because there's a lot of tape right now and a lot of plays. So you got to stick to what you do best. You got to look at what they do best and how you feel they'll attack you, and you got to prepare hard in practice.
And one quickie, J.K. and Jonathan Taylor. You've seen J.K. in practice and watched a little video, I'm sure, here. You've seen Jonathan Taylor probably in your dreams or nightmare. But how do they compare? How do they compare, in your opinion?
I don't want to compare the two. I think they're both really, really good football players. I've seen J.K. a lot. I can't say enough about him. Again, I'm not like up here promoting guys today, but J.K.'s a really good player, and he is an unbelievable person. And you guys probably all know that, which makes it all even better, because there might not be a better guy. And even being a defensive guy, like, I love being around that guy. So, not comparing the two, Jonathan Taylor's really good, and we're going to have to play really good to stop him.
Jeff, just to follow up on Chase Young, the way they were putting two guys on him and stuff against Michigan, you said it kind of creates opportunities for other guys. So as a coordinator, is that a situation you don't mind being in if they put two guys on Chase? Would you rather have him freed up? I guess, how do you kind of...
Yeah, I wish it would be one-on-one every single time, but no, it can be very beneficial. We have to do a good job of coaching that. If we see they're doing something to stop them, then we need to do something to counter them. And there's ways to do that. You only have so many guys, right, to block with. So if they take too many and put them over on one side, there's going to be less on the other side. So then we have to win those battles, or we have to create as coaches. So we need to see that in the game, and we need to continue to adjust and try to keep people on edge.
And final question, third row right, Rob, from the dispatch.
Yeah, real quick, one more on Chase. Was this, what they did to him, was that something they just did better than other teams, or did other teams not try that? Why?
Teams have tried. And again, I mean, I think Chase had some good rushes in the game as well. It's not like the whole entire game they completely took Chase out, because they didn't. I mean, he had a bunch of pressures, he had a bunch of tackles, and he hit the quarterback, which is another reason I think at the end of that game, you guys mentioned like they were like 4 or 24 or whatever you said. We were hitting them. We were hitting the quarterback. We were hitting the receivers. Our guys played tough in that game. And there were some drops in the end of that game. And throwing the ball in the middle of the field against us is not easy. Because if you catch it, you're going to feel it. And they felt it. And the quarterback felt it. So I don't want to look at this and say Chase just – I don't think they stopped Chase. I think they felt Chase. And I think at the end of the game, the result of the 4 for 24 had a lot to do with Chase and the rest of the D-line. So I'm excited to see him in this game, and hopefully we'll get other opportunities. But I appreciate you guys, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Oh, we got – said last question.
Wait a minute, follow-up. Award season, Royals Award, what do you know, congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you know about it? What does that entail for you?
I have a lot of respect for college football coaches. It's an honor to be on that list. To me, it's a compliment to our whole entire defensive staff. So I appreciate those who voted. And we'll see what happens.
What is it, what's the logistical thing for you?
You'll have to ask Jerry on that one.
And then last one.
Sorry, Jerry.
No, it's good. I got it.
Do you want to come? Would you like to come with me? My wife would be mad, but
I'll carry the briefcase. It's been a long time since Ohio State head coach won Coach of the Year. Who deserves it?
who deserves head coach of the
Who
year?
deserves it this year in your
In my opinion,
yeah, and why? And why is the important part?
yeah. One, I think it's Ryan Day. And again, this isn't like Jeff Hafley promotes the world today. First-year head coach. Takes over in a job that obviously one of the best jobs there is, but first-year head coach goes undefeated through the regular season. Has some things he has to go through during the season, the way he handled it, the way these players play for him, the way these players care about him. Take out the record. The way he treats these players and this staff, and the way these players play for him, and the way these coaches coach for him, and then combine that with the record, I don't think there's a better coach in the country. And you can debate me on that, but that's how I feel.
Coach, we do have one more question.
Gosh, Jerry. No.
This is the last one.
I'm just kidding. I just eventually gotta go back and watch tape.
Yeah, I know.
We couldn't be a day without a question.
You talked a lot about the complementary nature of
Yes.
offense and defense together. From your defensive standpoint, how would you describe the pressure that this offense, with the way Ryan and everybody calls it, the talent that this offense has, what's the pressure that they put on a defense every game?
It's explosive. They can throw it. They can run it. The quarterback can keep it. And they can score really fast. I always talk about eliminating explosives, right? If you try to just eliminate explosives on him, he can also pound you. And he's proven that. And then he's really good in the red zone. He scores a lot of touchdowns in the red zone. And he can get on you fast. And if he gets on you fast, you're in trouble. Because we've seen those 24-point quarters, those 28-point quarters. And that where I think it's complementary is he scores quick. We hold him to a 3-and-out. They don't have much time to adjust on the sideline. He gets right back out there. He scores quick. If we can go another 3-and-out, that's what I'm always saying. We got to go 3-and-out again. We got to go 3-and-out again. Just keep giving him the ball. Without them having much time to adjust, that's stressful on defense right there. That's why I think it's complementary football. So then all of a sudden you look up and it's 21-0, and you're sitting there and you haven't had time to think of what just hit you. And that's what he does. Another reason he should be the coach of the year.